Expressions of interest rate. Part A. Loans, mortgages, and other forms of credit, APR. In the past, lenders tried to confuse potential borrowers by expressing the interest rate charged for credit in ways that borrowers found difficult to comprehend. For example, an interest rate might be quoted as 0.5% per week. This might not sound like a high rate, but it is actually equivalent to an annual rate of 29.61%. Another device used to conceal the true interest rate was to charge setup fees, management charges, etc. When these were factored in, the interest rate was often significantly higher than that quoted in the advertisements. In recent times, European and Irish legislation has required that lenders display the annual percentage rate, known as the APR, prominently for all proposed loan agreements. There is a very precise definition of APR given on page 31 of the formulae and tables. From the point of view of definition, all charges must be included along with all repayments. So annual percentage rate APR. The APR is the value of I expressed as a percentage for which the sum of the present values of all advances is equal to the sum of the present value of all repayments. So on page 31 we can see the definition of APR here in yellow. Part B. Savings and investments, AER, also known as EAR or CAR. For savings and investments, i.e., where savings are made with financial institutions, the term used for the interest rate is annual equivalent rate, AER, or alternatively, equivalent annual rate, EAR, or compound annual rate, CAR. We will use the abbreviation AER, although all three are taken as equivalent. The rules governing the definition of the AER are not as strict as those for the APR, as, for example, it is not clearly specified what fees and charges have to be taken into account in their calculation. In our calculations, we will take APR and AER to be the same, the annual rate of compound interest equivalent to that stated. Both are very important, especially for comparison purposes. One difference is that the APR is always a percentage, but the AER can be either a percentage or a decimal. In practice, we use decimals for both. A post office offers investors a savings bond promising a 40% increase in value at the end of 5 years. What is the annual equivalent rate, AER, for this bond? Give your answer as a percentage, corrected 2 decimal places. So we're going to use our compound interest formula on page 30 of the formula book. And it states that P is equal to A times 1 plus I to the power T. Let I be the AER, the annual equivalent rate for this savings bond. So I is going to be the AER, that's what we're trying to find. Then in 5 years' time, €1 will become €1.40 because there's a 40% increase. 40% of €1 is 40 cents, and €1 plus 40 cents is €1.40. So €1.40 is a 40% increase on €1. So we're going to substitute into our formula. So basically, if we invest €1 in 5 years' time, that €1 is worth €1.40. So we're trying to figure out what was the interest rate. So we have 1 in place of the A, that's the amount of money we invest. The T is going to be 5, because it's to the power of 5, because it's 5 years. And the P is going to be €1.40, that's how much we'd end up with. So we have 1 times 1 plus I to the power of 5 is equal to 1.40. So 1 plus I to the power of 5 times 1 just stays the same. So we just have 1 plus I to the power of 5. And then the 5 comes over the equal sign and it becomes to the power of a fifth, which is the same thing as finding the fifth root of 1.4. Then the 1 comes over the equal sign and becomes minus 1. And 1.4 to the power of a fifth minus 1 is 0.0696. So here we have a decimal, but we want a percentage to 2 decimal places. Hence the AER, the annual equivalent rate, is 6.96%, corrected 2 decimal places.